Welcome to the Made in Monroe podcast. Today we've got Louisiana State Representative Michael Echols and his wife Christie with us. Michael, Christie, welcome.
Glad to be here.
Good to see you.
Yeah, thank you guys for coming. So I want to, take a little walk down memory lane today, and I want to start at the beginning of y'all's journey. Kind of tell me where your story started and how you made Monroe home.
So I'm from Bastrop, born and raised, and when I turned 18, moved to Monroe, went to NLU at the time, and then stayed here ever since. Have done lots of different fields of work, from financial services, real estate, healthcare, and it's a great place to call home. It's a good point to launch big ideas from.
Right.
I'm from Monroe always. I went to Louisiana Tech for architecture school and had every intention to move to a bigger city. I really wanted a walkable lifestyle and was looking for maybe Boston or Austin, trying to find that. And then my last year of architecture school, my brother became pretty sick. And through that process, I just kind of realized, I don't want to leave my family.
Mm-hmm.
So decided to stay in Monroe and met Michael literally on my graduation day from college. And we have just been partners in crime ever since. I think we both love buildings, love architecture, and love the community. So we just have always had that commonality. We've worked together our whole marriage pretty much at this point. So that's kind of been our journey and how we came to be here.
So I didn't plan on going here, but you kind of went there. So you've worked together your whole marriage. So talk to me a little bit about that and how that works. Like what do you guys do? What are some of the projects you've done together? And how does that work? Who takes the lead on some of those projects?
So I'm normally the crazy person up front that goes and finds the concepts that we're working on. We've acquired 30 plus commercial historic buildings over the last 15 years, 20 years. And, again, finding the opportunity is one thing, and then figuring out what it's going to be when it's fixed or finished is another. And so that's where I think we complement each other. Once we start a project, then Christie takes over with the architectural and design work, and then we go out and figure out what's missing in the community. And that's what we've really tried to do over the last 15 years is in our downtown Monroe, downtown West Monroe, or any of our historic downtowns, they've just been so undervalued and underutilized. And so it's determining what inventory you've got, what you can do with it, and then creating this space that magic can happen when you bring entrepreneurs together with historic buildings that have been renovated. And so that's what we've been doing. And Christy sprinkles her magic dust on it to make it a great place to live, work, or play. And I figure out how to finance it and put the deals together and find the entrepreneurs that want to excel.
You get to have all the fun and he gets to pay for it.
And pretty much he has to figure out how to pay for it. And,
right.
Yeah, honestly, it is really fun and a privilege to get to kind of choose what it is you're going to create. Not every architect is in a position to do that. They sort of make the most of the task given to them. So one thing I've always have been thinking about a lot lately is how our business has always made money in order to exist. It hasn't existed to make money, kind of thing. And we've been so blessed and fortunate in that way that we have had enough success as we go along each time to continue on to the next project. And we're for like the hotel in particular, it's very almost bizarre to me that we have a hotel, because it's not something that we started out pursuing, but we always make our decisions on what does our community need next to succeed, what opportunities does our community need, and that kind of really drives our path as a company and a couple, really, I guess. And then we just problem solve from there.
Michael, what keeps you grounded as you're kind of balancing your roles between, community leader and public servant and entrepreneur?
Sure.
I almost said it was like me.
Yeah, that's the grounding factor.
Answer. Really good answer.
I get whipped back into shape pretty quick.
Right.
Yeah. It's being a public servant is a unique job, but it's not to be used the wrong way. I think you've got to use your opportunity in public service to both have a servant leadership approach and try to give back where you can. There's some fun spots in it, and there's some bright spots for our community, but it is a job, and you got to be committed to that job and try to do the best you can every day for your constituents.
Yeah, if you're doing it correctly, it's a true sacrifice and service. And I'm really proud of the work Michael's done. And anybody with a good family is blessed to always have someone there to put them back on track and kind of quiet the noise that's out there and say, look, this is, what we're about, who we're focused on. He is always the one out there in the public. So I think he comes home to be grounded and remember, what our path is about.
Mhm. How do you balance family with all of that? Because you do have a lot of different roles that you're fulfilling. One of those also being husband and father to your children. So how do you balance family?
Well, again, if it weren't for her, none of this would be possible, because with the legislative schedule, we're in Baton Rouge anywhere from 3 to 6 months out of the year, and then the other 6 months we're either traveling to conferences or committee meetings in Baton Rouge. So you got to have somebody at home that's the stable force around the family, and then where there's possibility of time to get in with the kids, the spouse, and all that, and still exist and have that.
Yeah.
I mean, it is a sacrifice to do this office or any office for a public official. So it's you sacrifice part of that time with your family. So that's a tough give back that you have to figure out the best way that you can keep your family as whole as you possibly can and have a good family life.
So you guys kind of with your talents and capabilities, you could be really anywhere in the country, anywhere in the world doing what you're doing, but you've chosen to plant roots in Monroe, to stay in Monroe. When people ask you why Monroe, how do you answer that question?
Sure. I mean, I would say sort of our origin story, it started with wanting to remain close to family that has loved and supported us and who we could not have accomplished as much as we have without their support. But the longer I'm doing this, the older I get, the more convicted I am about just the quality of people that we have in this community and the fruit that is born of that. We've been blessed to travel quite a bit, work with all kinds of people, especially through the adventure of the hotel. And I'm just sincerely convinced that we're the best place in the world to live.
Yeah.
So
I've always looked at Monroe as a place in Northeast Louisiana as where you can take your idea or your opportunity and make it happen here. In the bigger cities, I mean, a lot of these other cities too, all their problems are solved. We like a community that you've got things still to fix
Right.
because that's part of our unique ability. And what we like to do is fix things that just need a little help to move along. But then also with the creative spirit that is in this region, the sky's the limit. If you set your goals and an idea on a big project, you'll find the people and resources you need to help get those things done. So that's why I think this area is so special, is because it just has people unlike any other community I've ever been in. And then there's still opportunities where you've got an old building or something you can still fix and bring it back to life. And then the entrepreneur plugs into that, and then it becomes electric. So that's what makes it fun, I think, to be from this region.
I think back to what you were saying, I think the people make it. I think the
Yeah.
people really do. They're your cheerleaders. They rally behind you. They get around you, because I think everybody wants kind of the same common goal for this area. I think everybody wants to see it succeed, and there's so much heart that's
There
put
is
into every project.
so much heart in this
Mhm.
community, and there's a humility and a lack of pretentiousness that
Mhm.
really opens up a lot of opportunity for what you can accomplish, and again, a lot of heart, just like you
Mhm.
said, in the people here. That is really, we take it for granted, I think, if you don't get out much, but it really is special what we have here.
It is. I agree. So you guys recently developed the Hotel Monroe downtown, which is like the star of the town now. I'm so excited.
Fun
So,
spot.
tell me a little bit about that story, just because I want you to start at the beginning of it and how it came about, and then the entire journey to opening it and where it is now. Kind of tell me the heart behind that and the why.
Like most of the properties we've acquired, I normally wander off and go and buy them. And sometimes I'll find a deal and I'm like, okay, we've got to buy this because we don't know what we're going to do with it. We bought the buildings in 2014. They've been operated, one of the buildings, over 100 years by the same family. The other building was built in 1891. It was an opera house and grocery store. And they just happened to be sitting there, and they were perfectly anchored for something, but we didn't know what it was going to be. So it took us a few years to figure out, okay, what is the next thing our downtown is missing? And it became vibrantly aware of just a hotel. We went to travel to other cities. A downtown is supposed to be the heart and soul of a community. Like, it is the heart. It is what tells you if the community is healthy. And so we've been working to try to heal that heart, make our historic downtown relevant again. Having a place where people can celebrate weddings, they can celebrate major events and milestones, and bring their friends and family to the community is part of that. So that's why the concept of a hotel came from that, through a lot of dialogue and a lot of financing and process. But fast forward, Christie and sprinkling the magic dust on it to make it a special place. We want it to be the living room of the community, and we're seeing that now. People are gathering there to celebrate weddings and anniversaries and staycations, but also bringing in guests to show off their community because it's special.
For me, it's a opportunity because when I'm at the hotel, it's nothing that I haven't already seen or been amazed by within our community. I've been to homes and businesses that I think are absolutely just as beautiful and amazing and full of talent as the Hotel Monroe. But what the hotel offers is an opportunity for our community to share that aspect of ourselves publicly with guests. That goodness has always been here, but now we have a venue to share it with the rest of the world with.
So kind of tell me your process just behind the redesign of it, I guess, because my husband and I went and had dinner there. We saw you there that night, and it really is just, it's a gorgeous building. You did a wonderful job with it. And someone told me that you actually painted the ceiling that's in like the living room area of the hotel when you walk
I
in.
had spent the rest of my art budget, so it was down to me to to paint the ceiling. So well, first of all, let me start with, I did not design the hotel all by myself. I had an incredible interior designer named Katie Jo Cheney that's with CDFL Architects, and she is an incredible talent. So I'm just going to lead with that. And there were so many wonderful collaborations that have made the hotel into what it is today. Vision for the hotel was really, how do I represent this region, which I found to be a real challenge, because I think that we have a very untold story in North Louisiana. And so how to represent that in an authentic way that wasn't, too contrived. And so I really just focused on celebrating specific individuals that are from here. So I love to tune into artists. So Jay Davis is one of the artists that I have been blessed to work with in the past. He painted the mural that is on the headboard wall of our guest rooms. The Star Bar, which has been incredibly fun for everybody, I think, was inspired by a painting by Nick Bustamante, a Ruston artist. And so I designed the whole space based on this one painter, or with my team. He's like, we're going to make it feel like this. And then come to find out that piece of artwork was available and is now located in the corridor outside of the space. Diane Cage was one of my muses, really, for the Heirloom Restaurant. And what I did was I wrote a narrative, because you work with so many creatives, and I wanted them to have enough creative freedom to not be stifled by any visual cues I gave them. So I wrote a narrative about a fictional married couple, but the woman was very much based on Diane Cage. The man's name was Harvey, and it sort of just described them, their love story, and their life within North Louisiana, at Black Bayou, in the Potpourri Book Club, in the Junior League, in the woods, hunting, kind of that quiet Bible personality. So I just described them, their importance of family to them, their sense of humor, their adept storytelling. And I gave this narrative to every creative that I worked with, the branding companies, graphic designers, interior designers. And I said, we want it to feel like this. And the artist, this is the part that you should feel like. And we created from there. So it was really a fun process, and really such a great exercise for me to kind of like recognize and become familiar with what is our story here.
Yeah. See, I had not heard that. I love that. I love that you put so much time, so much thought, so much passion into it. And I really do think that you can feel that in the space when you're in there. It's gorgeous.
Thank you.
So you did a wonderful job with it. So you come off of an amazing project like that. What's next for you guys?
So we have another large development that is happening in Ruston right now, some restaurants and housing. It's in their downtown historic district, and it's going to be pretty special as well. And then in downtown Monroe, we have a couple of other buildings. We bought the Palace Department Store, and we're looking at some concepts there. And then the old Hotel Monroe, which is a couple of blocks away, turn of the century, or 1900 building that we're looking at some additional housing and retail concepts. So we've got a few more projects that are both ongoing, and then some more in our development pipeline that'll continue to redefine the skyline of our downtown.
I like that. So how do you hope the work that you're doing, it really does seem to me, it's very evident in talking to you guys that you want it to have an impact on this community. So how do you hope that your work, or what are the ways you see your work impacting the next generation of Monroe?
So one thing I have learned over the time period that we've been sort of at this is that you can fix up a building and you can build a company, and it may or may not last over time. But what you invest into the people that you work with on a daily basis, that is what will have a legacy and make a difference in your community. So, yes, we're coming up with recipes and learning how we're going to fold towels, but those are the details. And, yes, it's a beautiful building, but really what matters is, what opportunities are we giving to the people that we work with every day, to the guests that come in the door, for them to grow and expand and become more confident in themselves. And to me, that is the legacy. And everything else is just the medium. Right. But that's really more the most important part.
And we have characters. I mean, if you think about people that work in that business, whether it's the hotel or any of the businesses downtown that we own or help operate, we have unique personalities that are adding flavor to what it is to be from this region. And so as we go forward and we, again, work with really unique people, it's finding more characters for our stage, which is the stage down in downtown Monroe, downtown West Monroe, or all of North Louisiana. So when folks come here, they don't ever forget it. They remember it as something that's truly unique and special. So that's it's a people game, but we've got buildings as kind of the backdrop and the stage, and we're just trying to put on a good show.
I think you've done a great job so far. Let the show continue, right?
We're still learning every day, for sure.
Well, I love what you said about the downtown being the heartbeat of a city and really being able to tell how healthy it is by that downtown heartbeat. So just to kind of go off of that, what would you like to see happen in downtown Monroe in the next 5 to 10 years?
So the mayor and his team have an aggressive agenda, working with the Downtown Economic Development District, working with the city of West Monroe to add more livable spaces. The demand is there. The marina concept and getting that brought to fruition. So additional hotels, additional living space. I think you'll see dozens and dozens of new restaurants in the future. And I know people say, well, it's such a small downtown. If you add 2,000 people living in that small community, you're going to need food and beverage places. You're going to need grocery stores and lots of other social amenities. So I think it'll continue to expand as the two cities work with each other and we embrace the river. So more living, more working, more playing.
So what has Monroe given to you that you hope to give back?
Just the opportunity. I mean, just to be able to work in this community and people work with you. And, when we started, everybody said we were crazy. And 15 years later, they said, well, maybe you weren't crazy. Maybe this was something that could be done, because you look at it for 30, 40 years, people tried and they failed, or not failed. There were starts and stops on trying to reinvigorate it. It was all about time and timing and when people are ready. And that just takes, again, time. And so we were somewhat there at the right time.
And I would say the community has always been so encouraging throughout this whole process. I mean, especially there in the beginning, it was not like a very obvious thing that this was going to work out. But the support of the community has been consistent. I mean, the community wants the downtown to do well, and that's always been very obvious in the kindness they've shown to us throughout this process. I mean, honestly, it feels a bit like a miracle that we're still at it after all this time. I mean, it was definitely not a guaranteed thing that we were going to come out of that, without having to just totally give up and try something else. But we've been very blessed to still be just doing a little bit bigger projects, and still having the ability to keep going.
Yeah. Well, I think downtown Monroe, like you go down there, there's just a different energy down there now, right? And I do think the hotel really has made that. You could feel it building up until that point, but I really think the hotel is given it that life back to it that it really needed. And then from this point forward, I think everything just grows from there.
We hope it's wind at our back. We've been going uphill for a long time, and now
I'm sure
a little downhill action would be nice.
No, it's feeling fun lately. It really is. It's been enjoyable. Yeah. I remember there was one moment, we've been like nose to the grindstone for years on the construction site. And when we first started hiring people for the hotel and they started executing, I mean, I felt like Dr. Frankenstein. I was like, it's alive.
It's alive. I love that.
I really felt that.
This is really happening.
I've been pumping the chest of it for so long. And it's like, it's moving without doing anything. And that was a great feeling. Yeah.
That's awesome. So what is something that Monroe has taught you that no textbook and no campaign could teach you?
I'll let you get first.
Oh, the tough one. Thanks, buddy. I don't know. To me, it's just been a great place to just put yourself out there. I mean, what you're talking about is really just learning through experience. And it has been such a wonderful and gracious community to make yourself vulnerable in, and just try and just put yourself out there, and accept that maybe you're going to fail, and but maybe you'll succeed. And just knowing, just being surrounded by gracious, graceful people who support you either way, or just thankful that you're trying, has been a huge blessing. So just having that environment to do that in.
I think the community giving the opportunity to serve, like they're not doors shut. There's so many different pathways to engage in this community, and whether it's in the arts, whether it's in social services, or if it's in business, like the doors are there. You just have to go and open them, and they're going to let you in, and you can flourish. So if there's a biggest gift that we've gotten out of this region and the work that we've done, is that there's so many different gracious people that allow you into their, whether it's their home or into their business, or an opportunity to grow your business. That's what we found in this.
It's the people that make it. Every time that I sit down with somebody, it always comes back to the people of the community. Really, they make this place. You can move away, you can live away, and I did that for about 10 years, and it's something draws you back here. I feel like it's like a magnet back to Monroe. It is. There's something in the water.
It is such a fun, exciting time to be in this community, because there's definitely a momentum of everyone's feeling excited and encouraged, and it's a group, a community of people all kind of going for it together.
Yeah, and I think we want to leave it better for our kids, right? At least that's how I feel. I want to leave this place better for our children, and hope that one day they want to come and live here and make an impact here, where they were raised, and have the opportunity. Absolutely.
To thrive here.
So it really is kind of about that next generation, but also giving back to a community that's given so much to us. Well, thank you guys so much for sitting down with us today. I'm cheering you on. I'm so excited. Every time I go downtown and I see something happening that has y'all's names on it, I know it's going to be gorgeous. I know it's going to be something that serves our community well. So thank you guys.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
Yep.